We got the linkage hooked up to the steering and the throttle. I think is where we left off. We are, lost a screw here. Oh goodness, what have I done with it? I bet I knocked it off on the floor. I'll have to find another one. Anyway, we are going to put the control horns and clevises on the rudder and elevator. Okay, we got two of those. We need two pieces of rubber. Let me get my tweezers here where I can get stuff out. One more of those. Yeah, give me enough. I'll cut one. Okay, razor knife. You can just cut your own on these rubber safeties off a fuel tube. That's all it is anyway. Fuel tubing. Got a couple of them there. Alright, now we've got our two control rods, or long ones, that go up to the servos, and we'll start by screwing our clevis on there. So these get kind of stiff, so I use a little pair of vice grips to get a hold of the wire. We'll screw it up like we did the ones for the ailerons, where there's just a 1/16 or so of the thread sticking out up into the clevis. Gives you plenty of room to screw it one way or the other to adjust. But we won't have to move these by putting the quick connects on the servo arms, because we'll make our adjustments up there. So just screw this all the way in. Sometimes it's easier to put a little wrench in there and turn it like that. Okay, we got about a 1/16 showing. Got that one done. Let's do this second one here. Put pliers on it. Okay, well, put that, oops, that ain't it. Put that tool in there. Okay, here we go. We'll crank this one down. It makes it a lot easier to put on quicker. Hurt your fingers sometimes, especially with the metal ones. Well, the metal ones usually thread easy, but you have a lock nut on them. Okay, let's slide our rubber safety up onto the neck so we don't lose it. It'll slide off the other end. Okay, move that out of the way. Our little plate that comes connected to your control horn, we just twist it off, and you can take a knife and shave off the little tab where it was, so that doesn't poke you or anything. Go ahead and do them both. That was clean. Okay. Alright, we'll lay those back over here. Now what we're going to do is hook our clevis onto the control horn. Use it as a guide. I can get this thing open. And we're going to put it in the second hole. Remember, the farther down you go toward the surface, the more control you have. So we're going to do the second hole on this. Now there's a little hole right here in the side of the fuselage. I've already cut the covering away from that. We are going to slide our rod up in there, and it will come out on the other end. Hang on a minute. It's going to be way long, so what I'm going to do is slide it all the way up and see how much I've got, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it off, leave myself about 1 inch of slack up here. Okay, now we can go ahead and slide this one in. It goes in a hole on the other side of the tail on top for the rudder. I guess go ahead and put my clip on it, on my control horn. Same thing, we're going to put it in the second hole. We're going to slide that up. See how much slack we got. Leave myself about 1 inch. cut her off. Okay, now let me get the camera rearranged here. Now we've got our linkage rods already pushed in. I think you can see in here what we're going to do is back them up and put them through the holes in the quick connects. We're not going to tighten those down just yet. We just want to feed them in there. Now you're going to have your radio on at this point. So let's get it. Turn that on. We'll set it under here. Turn the power on to the plane. Everything's centered. Receiver's on. Okay. Now what we're going to do is, let me see if I can get this over here somehow. I may have to move the camera a little bit. Okay. Alright, what we're going to do here is place this, and remember what I told you earlier about the hole being lined up with the gap in your control surface. That has to be centered, or you will bind. If it's forward or reverse of that, backwards, it'll bind real bad. So you want to get that. Hang on. Here's another on this type. There's another place we can use a clamp. And it'll kind of hold it pretty centered. Okay. Now we'll slide that back onto the elevator itself, line it up with the hole, and we want our hinge line lined up with the control surface gap. So now we're going to drill a hole, and at this point we can go ahead and put our first bolt in there. Kind of a pain. Let me find my little pencil screwdriver. Get that started. And get lined up on the hole we just drilled. There we go. Now that we have that intact, and we can go ahead and drill the other hole. Watch, don't poke your finger on the other side. I've done that too, and it don't feel good. The little drill bits hurt, boy. It'll drill into you before you know it. Okay, that went through. Now, here's one of my little flat caps. And we're going to put on the other side. Line those up. Just start one at a time, just a little bit. Don't screw your first one all the way down. Start it and then start the other corner, because sometimes you have to wiggle these a little bit. Get them to line up. There we go. They're pulling down. And we want to pull them down just snug enough to where they don't dig into your balsa. The corners just start to kind of act like they're going to sink in. There we go. Alright. Now we'll take the clamp. Well, actually, we'll leave the clamp on here, and that will keep that pretty level. Alright, now we'll go back over here. If I can get inside here. And then we'll put some Loctite on our screw. Okay. This is an elevator, so we're going to go ahead and we got it 90 degrees lined up. I need my needle nose. Okay, we're going to hold on to your little quick connect so it doesn't twist it or bend your wire. I'm going to cinch that sucker down right there. Now, if we did need to do any fine tuning, rather than unscrew the clevis back there and go to all that trouble, all you got to do is loosen this and adjust it. If you do have to make any adjustments later on, be sure and clean it off and put new Loctite on it. One thing that works really well, let me get it, if I can find it. Do not spill this on your carpet. It is 100% pure acetone nail polish remover. You can take that on a Kleenex and put it on a screw that has Loctite on it, and it will just eat it right off of there. It'll wipe it right clean. Then you can put new Loctite on. So, but anyway, don't spill it on your carpet. It'll make a big spot. And your wife will be really ticked off. Not that I've ever done that, but, you know. Okay, we got our elevator working. Now we've got a little bit slack. I'm going to cut that off, but I'm still going to leave myself 1/4 inch. As long as it's not interfering with anything up here. That gives me a little bit of play. Oops, I cut the wrong one off. I hope I didn't cut it too short. Let's see what we got here. Nope, we're good. Ooh, that was close. I cut the wrong one. I cut that rudder. Anyway, we're going to leave ourselves 1/4 inch right there. That way, if we do have to go back and make some kind of adjustments. Wow, what have I got on? My bottle must be leaking on that acetone. Nope. Huh. I don't know what it's off of. Let me grab a paper towel. I'm not sure where I got this at. I got something all over me. Okay. Wow. I don't know what it was. It's clear, but it had to be that acetone, but it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't smell like it either. It's oil. Where did I get oil? That's crazy. Okay. Anyway. Alright, we got the elevator done. Now we'll go back and do the same thing to the rudder. Take our little drill. We've got our wire in there. We're gonna line that up with the holes lined up with the gap in the control surface. We're gonna put our clamp on top of the elevator here to hold it. Let me get my little drill back. Now place that. Get it where I want it. Drill my hole. Let me get my little screwdriver. Let's put this screw in. If you put the first screw in, it will help you hold it in place, so it doesn't move as easy on you when you're doing the second hole. Okay. Come on. We're getting there. Usually they just push right on through, but that one threaded all the way. Okay, now let's go back. We got it in line. Make sure it's 90 degrees with your bar. Drill the second hole. Okay, and let's put that screw in. If I can get it started. Okay. Alright, they're bottomed out. Now, take the clamp off. Got our little flat backing. Let's put it on here. I'll get in your way here where you probably can't see, but I'll start one at a time. Just go back and forth and torque them down a little at a time. Don't pull one corner all the way down, because it'll bind it real bad. And the other one won't start. But once you got it started, it's not so bad. Okay. Got them in place. Now we're going to do the same thing. Still got our radio on. So our servos are 90 degrees. We are going to put the clamp back on top. Now, and then we'll put our screw in here. Get our needle nose. Whoops, sorry. Forgot to put the camera back over here. Okay. Got our Loctite on here. Get our needle nose. Hold the little quick connect. Cinch her down. Okay, I've already cut that off. I got a 1/4 inch or better sticking out for adjustment if I need it. Those are tight now. Everything works nice and smooth in there. Your rudder works right, left, steering. And get the clamp off, that helped. Here we go. And then everything's working nice and smooth. No binding. You want to make sure things don't bind. Because if you have a bind, you hear it clicking or rattling, buzzing noise in your servo. If it's binding too far one direction or whatever, it'll burn that servo up eventually. It usually doesn't take very long, but chances are good it's going to happen in the air while you're flying it around. And when it does, you're going to lose your airplane. So, okay. Now that we've got all that done, the only thing left we have to do, we have to mount the receiver and the battery. The battery will do very last. And then balance it, and then set our throws. We got to do that, but that won't take 5 minutes. So right now I'm going to go get the materials to build me a servo, or not a servo tray, but a little tray here to mount my receiver to. We'll be right back. Okay, we took a flexible ruler. This is also, again, a dental appliance from Dentsply Teeth, but it works great on airplanes. I measured the distance between this wall and this plate back here, and it was like 38 millimeters. So then we made our mark on here, 38 millimeters wide, and now we're going to cut that with a little coping saw, which is also from my dental business. I love this little thing. I have a big one that has a big tall, didn't get a hobby shop, but this works great for what I'm doing. So we're going to cut that off. Turn the block around. Get the blade. Got it bound up there. Alright, got it cut enough we can bust it off. And I'll get our little sand block. Hang on just a second. Now we will sand down the edges. I'm going to back up here because I don't want to get sawdust in the plane. Okay. Got that nice and squared off. Now let's do a test fit. Let's get our wires back here out of the way. Well, first thing I'm going to do is we're going to cut that little opening. They give you a little tiny hole here to bring your wires up through. It's not big enough. So we're going to cut that open just a little bit more. Okay. Now we can take the corner of our sand block, get down there and smooth that up. Okay, let me get a piece of fuel tubing. I'll be right back. Let's see, need a razor knife. Here we go. We're going to cut that about right there. Cut that off, and we're going to slice it open. I don't cut my finger off first here, huh? Now, got a piece of fuel tubing that we've split. If you're worried about that wood chafing your wires, then all you got to do is, it's kind of hard to get on there, but you can, once you get it, you can glue it. I may have to widen my hole out just a little bit more. Anyway, there you go. Now we'll put just a little bit of CA around that, and what you have there is a nice rubber cushion to keep from chafing your wires. Just if I can get my pen out of my glue here, it's all stuck now. Here we go, we're coming. Okay, it's probably plugged up. Nope. We'll just put a little bit of that around the edge of that to hold it in place, and put our pen back in our glue. Put it up. Now, you can take a real sharp razor knife and cut those ends on off, if they will. Yeah, that blade's not sharp enough. Anyway, let's go ahead and test fit this. It's going to be a booger to get in there with all the... Wow, I may have to undo one of my linkage to get that down in there. This is not working like I wanted it to. Hang on a minute. Get our wires up in there. We got our width right. Just having a hard time getting it underneath here. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to take my screwdriver and take this servo horn off of the throttle. Okay, remembering what angle it goes, I put it back in the same spot. Now, I should be able to get that down under there, like so. I thought I had the right length, but it may be too long. Oh, there we go. Okay. Well, we're going to have to cut out a notch here for our wires too. Either that, or I may have to cut this. Let me back up here just a little. I can cut a notch out right here so that'll slide more forward. Now, see if I can manage to get it back out of here without breaking it in half, huh? That's a tough little hole to get in with that wire. Golly. Okay. Take our saw. Let's cut that down. Okay. Got that notched out. Let's do this side. The little saw wants to hang real bad, but okay. Now, just for grins here, let's cut out a notch right here, right there. Now I think we can take our razor knife and slice that out. Yeah, if you're going with the grain, you can cut pretty easy with your knife. It's against the grain that's so hard. Alright. Alright, let's cut another piece of fuel tubing here. You can tape these edges too if you want to, but this gives it a little bit more cushion. Now let's see what we got as far as length. See if we can get it up in here. Okay, so we're going to get a little pair of scissors and we're going to cut that off right there. Okay, slide that on over there. It's in our gap pretty good. Now I'm going to get my CA again. Alright, be right back.